Okay, so the last song to learn for this particular workshop, I'm not doing all the songs because one of them I highly recommend not playing guitar, and the other one is pretty simple. I think you'll be fine with it. So the last one I'm doing for this week is Worthy is the Lamb. And the first thing I went through, as always, is to highlight um, anything without the seventh and without the fractionated chord. There are some in here of the fractionated chords that I think are pretty easy for you to learn. And if you want to try your hand at them, we just did one of them in the song previous to this. So you might remember it. It doesn't involve switching your fingers around on your left hand. What it involves is switching your fingers around as far as where you strum on your right hand. So it might be easier for you to pull off, and we'll review those now. So on all the chords on Worthy is the Lamb, unless you're super proficient, go ahead and just highlight the very first note on any of them. If you run across this crazy C sus2, comma sharp 4, don't even bother. Just hit a C, okay? You'll hear in the music it doesn't really make a big difference anyway, as you as a guitarist is going to be playing. So let's go ahead, and also if you want to circle on your own music or use the PDF I give you, those G over D or G over B chords, because those are the ones that I said I think you might want to try your hand at this week. If you see a C over G or a D over F sharp, you don't really have to worry about those. Go ahead and just play the first note on those. So in the C over G, you'll play the C, and on the D over F sharp, you'll play the D. Okay? A G over B is what we played in the last song that we went over, Behold the Lamb. G over B, you're playing a G like normal on your left hand, but over here on your right hand, you're strumming from the 5th string down. That's G over B. So your fingers stay the same over here, but all you're changing over here is you're leaving out the 6th string. You're leaving out that one. So this is a pure G, but this is G over B. You're accentuating that B bass note, okay? Now, G over D is very similar, but instead of strumming from the 5th string down, you're strumming from the 4th string down. So that's G over D. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, but on the tuning of your guitar, it goes E, A, D. That's a D string. So when you're playing a G and you're strumming from the 4th note down, you're playing a G over D. You're accentuating the D bass note. And it's the same thing with G over B, is when you're playing from the 5th string down and your index finger is right there on the 2nd fret, that's a B. And you can tell it's a B because in the tuning of your guitar, the 2nd string is a B. So if you put your index finger here where it would be with a G chord and you play a B note, they're one and the same. So G over B is play from the 5th string down. G over D is play from the 4th string down. So that's all that is. If you flub up and you play the full G, it's not the end of the world. It just has to do with what bass note you're accentuating while you're playing. And let me see if there's anything else that you need to be aware of. Like I said, just ignore the crazy C sus2, comma sharp 4. Ignore the 7ths, the C's over G's. I mean, it would be great if you could play that. If you want to know how to play that, you're playing a C chord, but you're putting your pinky on the 1st string in the 3rd fret. That's a C over G. If you want to try your hand at it, that's what it is. So it's just adding your pinky at the very bottom string. Okay? So let's go ahead and try to play the song. And again, I mean, you know the drill. I have to kind of stop and scroll the music down with my right hand, so it's a little bit awkward. But hopefully you've downloaded the PDFs and you can see the music where I have to stop playing and scroll. Okay, so here's the music. Sorry about that. Let me rewind that. Your power. I'm going to take that out, and I apologize for putting that in. That is such a quick note that it's unnecessary. So X that note out on your music, and I apologize for leaving that in before making the video. Sometimes it takes a while to make these workshops, so I'm only allotted a certain amount of hours per week, so I gotta be efficient. Let's kind of rewind. Here we go. Okay, so with the exception of that rogue chord, that should be, that I just removed a moment ago, that should be good to go. And it's not that hard once you learn it. And like I said, on these ones that are highlighted in the dotted hot pink line, if you hit a regular G and you play the 6th string, it's not the end of the world. I'm just trying to teach you in little increments what those things are, so that if you spot them in other songs, you know what they are. Okay?